Okay, the last part of this is going to be dealing with domain. Now, the first part of this lesson, you're going to be asked to solve these, but they're not necessarily going to ask you for the restricted values or the domain. But in the last part, problems 19 through 23, they are going to ask you specifically for the domain, or another term for that is restricted values. So we're going to put that up here. Domain means restricted values. In other words, what will make your equation undefined? Okay, so how do we do that? You're always going to be looking in the denominator. Look at denominators. In other words, the bottom part of your fraction. So, if I have one term with a variable in the denominator, I will have only one restricted value. If x equals 0, it will make 1 over 0 is undefined, therefore x cannot equal 0. So something like this, you would just simply fill in the number 0, because it will have x does not equal, and then you put the numbers in, okay? Now, what if we have more than one term? 4 over x plus 1 minus 1 over x. I have two different denominators. I have a variable in each one of those denominators, so therefore I have two different expressions that have to be put equal to 0. This one is finished once I say x cannot equal 0. This one I have to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 1 on each side, and I get x equals a negative 1. If I had a negative 1 in my solution, it would make this one undefined. So therefore, x cannot equal the negative 1. Therefore, my domain is x cannot equal negative 1 comma 0. And that's how you're going to put your answers in, okay? So let's look at a little more complex one. 9 over 6x plus 7 minus 1 over x equals 3 over 5x minus 2. And you are not solving these, guys. You are only doing restricted values on these. So the only thing you're concerned about is that denominator, okay? So we have three different rational expressions or rational terms. So we have three possible restricted values. Is there a variable in the denominator of every one of those? Yes, there is. 6x plus 7, x, and 5x minus 2. Therefore, we have three possible excluded restricted values. So, take each denominator and put it equal to 0. And the last one, 5x minus 2, is equal to 0. So this one's the easiest one. So x cannot equal 0. That's one of your restricted values. This one I have to solve for it, so I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. And I get 6x is equal to a negative 7. Now divide by my 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, leaving you x is equal to negative 7 over 6. That is your second restricted value. Now we have the same one over here. I'm going to add 2 to both sides to solve, leaving me with 5x is equal to 2. Now divide by your 5, and x is equal to 2/5. That is my third restricted value. Now, remember, we're going to write it, whoops, I need to rewrite that as x cannot equal. I didn't take that last step on it. Same thing here. X cannot equal 2/5. So, what do I have? X cannot equal, and the order really doesn't matter, but I usually try to write them in ascending order. So -760 and 2/5. That is your 3 restricted values. And that will be the last part of your assignment. We'll do these restricted values. Okay, so that gives you all you need for the rational equation assignment.